Hi, today we are going to talk about movers. Uh, the name says, movers are things that are moving. For example, uh, if we are going to press 8 and E and click on the map, we have a mover. Movers are in two kinds: static movers and walking movers. No, uh, movers, they are walking or flying or riding, like trains, for example. But we have also static movers. In this case, you are going to place just one, 8E, click and ask, because if you are doing 8E, click and click, you're gonna have a walking flag. That is no problem because we can change it to something else. For example, a stroller, a lady with a stroller. Or this being static, let's make it on very important policeman and properties, not less important worker. They sit in with a face in opposite direction, rotate. Okay, now they are looking at us. As you see, they are not moving, so you can make this a walker mover, just a static mover. That lady can't stand still because properties, speed 0, and it's static. And as you see, is not looking good. It's walking just like Michael Jackson. If you like Michael Jackson, okay, but this is not looking right. So we are let her go, speed 1, and she's walking. The property windows for movers are not also very complicated properties. As you see, we have the type of mover. Some movers even have different looks. Let's make this policeman a cow. No bad intention here, just because. Rotate. Okay, if we are looking at properties, we have a brown cow, a black cow, red and yellow. Okay. Delay at the end. This is for moving movers, like this lady here. But this is not something for her, so I'm gonna place another mover, a moving one. You can divide this and make it like this. Select all three. Node properties, altitude unspecified. Let's say 100, way above the city. and because it's above, we are gonna make this not a flag, not a flying flag. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's make it an air ambulance. So we have an helicopter here moving around with very low speed, but let's give them some speed, 12 for example. And this is the way to explain better, because you can make it at the end to take a pause. If usually these flying objects trajectory, and if you don't want this helicopter to go back very fast, you can make it to stay at the end of the route, let's say 10 seconds, and it's gonna stay there 10 seconds, and now it's gonna start all over from here, but not something to say about it. Let's say properties, and after that 10-second pause, we can make it bounce at the end. Let's see, it's gonna stop for 10 seconds. Let's make it 5. Too late. And is going back. Things in property window. Let's go away from here. Too much noise. Another thing in property window, this can be active during the day or during the night. This helicopter is gonna fly all the time, but if I uncheck this, it's gonna be invisible over the night. A good thing to do with this kind of mover, for example, a lady with a stroller is gonna look strange in 2 o'clock in the morning, unless she has some family problems. But in this game everybody's happy, so no family problems, so we are not gonna see this lady walking into the night. Because in properties we are gonna uncheck this active during the night, and this lady is gonna spend his nights at home. Follow direction, normally bounce on the end. Okay, let's make it go back. Use curved path. If you create a more sophisticated trajectory, the model is gonna follow a normal curve. It's not gonna do sudden moves. Water reflection, if it's near to water, don't use sound. If I click this, in the case of that annoying helicopter, is gonna be silent, like Secret Service silent. Ignore cut planes. I promise you I'm gonna talk about cut planes. Deactive during bad weather, deactive during nice weather. During nice weather, I don't know why it should be deactive, but also this lady is gonna look bad if you are gonna see it in the middle of the rain. So deactive during bad weather, it's a good choice. The static models are not much to talk about. The moving models are a bit tricky. Some of them it's gonna look odd on the map. For example, let's say a horse eating and walking, and it's looking like a horse with mental problem. Horse. Where is it? Horse walk. Michael Jackson again. Okay, this one is looking good. Not so bad. Hot dog walk. Okay. It's okay. It's a nice guy. I'm gonna leave it there. That's it about movers. You can select the altitude. You can, if you are gonna move these points by mouse, you are gonna drop them to the ground, and we are gonna have an helicopter crash. We don't need that. Be sure, like in all model material situation, to choose the right rendering distance. This one can be seen from middle or close, but that helicopter must be seen from far, because if it's not, it's gonna appear and disappear in bad timing. That's it about movers. We are gonna talk about now about brushes. Let's place a road here. Road, double. Okay. Good. Let's make the grass green. Austria is a good choice. And let's make the grass, the length of the terrain, even bigger. 200. 200. I'm gonna choose the left side to be plain, flat, the left side. Okay, and this one is gonna be 100. As you see, this is the grass, but as you see, it's not gonna run forever. It has a point where the grass stops, and we have just a blank carpet here, green one. So the brush, it's a good tool to use if you want to create terrain diversity, colors, agriculture, and so on. Let's press B. This is the size of your brush, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and so on. And you have a custom one, 7 by 7, or whatever you want, because this is why it is custom. 4 by 4. Sunflowers ground. Okay, I'm gonna place sunflowers ground here and sunflowers ground here. Because our grass is designed to exist just to a certain distance, in this case until here. We have in this situation of brushing sunflowers, we have some actual sunflowers and then we have some pictures of sunflowers on the ground, not the sunflowers themselves. If you want to delete what you already did, please click B, and instead of doing brushes, keep the Control key pressed and ta-da, it's gone. If you are using a brush with plants like this sunflower, let's use another, for example, Repka. Okay, also a brush creating something growing out of the ground, a plant, a vegetation, I don't know what it is. Ask for the, if your landscape is bigger, for these parts it's better to use flat brushes. Like terrain don't need the actual plants. For example, barley field. As you see, this one doesn't need detailed vegetation because it has any. Okay. Now, if you want to remove this, you can use that B and OK and keep Control pressed, or simply go to the road properties and remove brushes from the right or from the left, or if you click in the middle, from both sides. With brush you can make not only diversity, I'm going to show you another type of diversity brush, 4x4, but we are gonna choose some random factor here, and I'm gonna click on the ground to see what happens. As you see, the bigger it is, the random factor, it's bigger. You are gonna have just pieces of that brush. This one is not looking very good, but remember F3. We are gonna replace this barley fields with, let's say, muddy ground, replace, and it's replaced. So now we have a little diversity on the side of the road. Okay, properties, remove brushes. We have the left side flat, this one, because I wanted to show you how to use brush to create a small parking, or if you have FLD prefabs, you can create your own gas stations and so on. First of all, I'm going to choose brush. I'm going to choose 5x2, no, by 3, and I'm going to choose asphalt. Okay, but with no diversity, with no random factor whatsoever. And instead of doing this, and we have something ugly here, Control Z, 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 I'm gonna keep pressed the Alt button, and we have this. The brush is gonna be active just in this squares. One note here, as you see, SCS insists to keep with any road this shoulder, keeping the color of the material, and this is looking very ugly. You have this shoulder, green shoulder here, and then asphalt. So if you want to do this to look nice, do exactly in a reverse way. Change the whole the terrain, first of all removing brushes, and do all the terrain from the left being asphalt. And now, as you see, this green shoulder disappear. And now we have to place the grass back. Brush, grass Austria, 5 by 5. We need to work here in large scale. First of all, we are gonna keep also keeping the Alt key pressed. We are gonna make the parking shape. It's too big, like this, and the rest of the terrain you are gonna brush it like usual. Be very careful. You press here, you're already parking, it's sick already. Control Z. Now we have our little space to create a parking. This is not gonna look very nice, but we need something here. I'm gonna press 3 E, France vegetation, grass type, grass stripe 3, for example, and place one here. E, place one here. E, place one here. Down to the ground, move, when you are going to do this, you are going to do it much nicer than I did it here, because this is just an example. Okay, that's it, and we have a nice parking spot here. Let's place some trucks. Okay, let's place even a small building for E, small. Okay, small. This one, for example. And now I'm gonna enable our minimap here. Let's press F5, and as you see, we have no parking. Our icon for parking is not here. Let's create a parking area. How we are gonna do this? Search for trigger here, press E, place for nodes of this, press ask. Only this it's in initial altitude, this one, and this one, it's to 0, but no problem. Move my mouse and we have our area here, but still we don't have our parking. We don't have it because press properties, go to source data, parking HUD activation, source data, parking HUD activation, deactivation, add new, and you have a HUD parking here. Click OK, move the mouse, and as you see here, we have already a parking zone. Wherever in this green square you are parking your truck, you are gonna sleep like a baby. As you see, our parking is not on the map. Let's make it to be on the map, to look nice. On the map view, you are gonna look here for map area here. Do the same like in trigger situation. Press E, one here, one here, one here, and one here. Move my mouse, move, 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 and move. And now, as you see, the game knows about our wonderful parking zone here. Okay, it's gonna be on the map. Of course, here you can create whatever you want. Let's press free E, grass type 4, place one of this. It's too big. Properties, let's make it 3. Okay, move, free E, DLC France, shrubs, 6 for example, place them here, press 3 again, not vegetation, some, I don't know, tree avenue. Okay, so everything is nice here. Be very careful. Every good thing in this game has a bad part. The game knows when you are driving on the road, but the game knows when you are driving AWOL outside of the road, avoiding an accident or something like that. Anytime you are going with your truck outside the road, you are gonna see dust at your wheels in first instance. If you are going far from the road, your truck is moving like you are driving on water or in very dense mud. So keep in mind, this parking is not different from this ground here. The game handles this parking like any terrain outside of the road. Sorry. So if you are doing this too far, too large, the player is not gonna reach your parking lot, because it's gonna drive here, is gonna see dust in his mirrors, but no problem. But from, I don't know exactly, but from that distance, from here to the end, in fact, is gonna barely move his truck, like driving outside the road. So if you want to do something large, use models. Your player is gonna drive on model in any distance. For example, 4E asphalt ground, place this one here. Be sure to move a little up. It's too up, but you are gonna find a solution for this. Okay, you can use brush, for example, brush 5x5, but instead of grass Austria main, you are gonna use grass Austria main no grass, and remove the grass. Keep the Alt pressed not to overlap this beautiful work here, and ta-da! Our concrete is fine. Ask to make this, you can drive your truck here, but it's not looking nice. 3E speed bump like this one. Okay, move and move, and now you have a nice entrance. And you can drive your truck all around here, because this model is gonna offer the support for your wheels. It's not like driving in empty land here. You can place here a building, a gas station if you want. Let's place, for example, a hotel, a prefab, because a hotel, it doesn't need a link to the main map because it's not a company. Hotel, and place it right here. Okay, now you are gonna see here in your map there is no link between your hotel and your road. You have to do another map area here. Let's see one fast. E, move, and as you see in our mini map, now we have two map area discovered on the road. That's it about brushes, that's it about map area. We are going to talk about and movers. We are going to talk about other interesting things in next episodes. Have a nice day. Bye bye.